I am the proud assistant principal at South Shore Pre-K 8 in the neighborhood that I grew up in. Had the chance to bring my mother and my father, my niece and my daughter, and this is truly an experience I wanted to share. We have the director of the Young Queens program who also serves at South Shore. Thank you for being here. To the young women in this room, believe in your ability to build. You are purposed and you are called. The challenges of life will come, as will the celebrations. In every moment, give thanks to those who have come before you. Find freedom in being woman, being female, who God created you to be. Find freedom in being transparent and vulnerable. And most importantly, find your freedom, your power in being you. When perfection wasn't good enough, I decided to be real. With the refusal to conceal, I lived my life in the open, courtesy of all the women who needed me to be. A visual victory accompanied vulnerability, but a choice I'd never change. And a poetic preach in hopes to reach just one, daughter or son, to change an obvious outcome. I poured my pain and passions on the pages of notebooks, so after the show, you'd look at me, but my soul spoken, affected by its efforts to be open, hoping that someone heard the heart that charted my challenges and choices. I want to speak for all the voices, my sisters' voices. The first time I remember sadness, I was 4. There was a boy at daycare who used to tease me, made me feel ugly. I was 4, so no matter how many men told me I was beautiful, I always doubted it a little because he didn't think I was pretty. And I'm not even sure I knew what pretty was, but I knew it wasn't me. And this city is small, like a town with a country road, one way in and one way out. So I met him again. I was 13 and he thought I was everything. And me, well, I didn't think much of him because I was 4. And I held that grudge like a ghost. I used to pretend I could haunt people and cast spells, but I knew witchcraft would send me to hell, so I learned to smile over my truth and over my pain. Every time my cousin was captain and didn't choose me for the kickball game, these memories hang in my mind like a closet with old clothes, tattered with holes, and sometimes my heart still aches a little. Because I knew loneliness too early, and no kid should feel that alone. I was a teen with my own bedroom phone, and I had 3 ways, so I was rich. 206-722-3372. Who knew the girl who had everything had nothing too? Sundays would come to fill me up like spilling teacups, and even in my youth, I knew God was the answer. The first time I wanted to be free, I was 9. I heard about Mother Harriet Tubman for the first time, and I wanted to be brave and fearless like that. I wanted to be free and black. She was a woman of wonder. I wonder if somehow we were related, like could that legacy and lineage live in my blood? What a public act of love. She freed people. They called her the Black Moses. A woman could be Moses? That threw my theology all off, but I loved it. I had held on too tight to the chains that had bound me. Somehow they had become my security. I believed more in the strength of those chains than I did my own. Sometimes you've been in prison so long, bondage starts to feel like home. I wore these chains like victims wear pain. What if this church girl had changed, trying to reconcile how my religion had become my prison? Make a decision. I still wanted Jesus, just without the politics or a doctrine to pick. I grew sick, anemic. My spirit was frail. This version of love had failed. I found myself in a hospital bed hooked up to an IV, and IV is a Roman numeral for 4, so I was 4 again, but this time I wanted to be much more than pretty. I wanted to be free. Can you see them? I rose like a cherub or a seraphim. Can you see them? My spiritual journey had granted me them. Can you see them? My wings sprouted between the shoulders in my back, blossomed victoriously like roses that grow from concrete cracks. I was Moses. I was a woman and I was black. Freedom has arrived. It'd be a lie if I didn't state that she felt late, but like God, she may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. Freedom is here despite my thoughts about her adherence to clocks. Freedom is here. She had come before, but I was not prepared to leave. Too concerned about how long was the road to liberation and if I'd have to travel alone. Sometimes you've been in prison so long, bondage starts to feel like home. Freedom is here. She gave birth to the Renaissance, the ruler and the river. She's Queen, married to the life giver. Harlem, rain, Nile, tea in the shade. How long we have waited for you. Who knew that purpose drove a freedom train through the annals of time, so my redemption would be both for my daughters and mine. This is the road of open souls, paved with the dirt shaken from the shoes of soldiers. The winds that blow now seem much colder, but we'll still stand with her. We'll look ahead and finish what some were unable. We'll dismiss the images from social media and cable, the misogynistic labels, and able sacrifice. For that someone took his life, but like Christ will live twice, and she'll know she's God's type. No changes are necessary to lure him. She won't have to ask where he's been, because all this time he's been waiting. Come unto me all that are heavy laden. This date is not blind, but sight given. This as who and what she's been missing. Mistakes are not who we are. They are what we've done and did. I too have hid amid the harmed, the injured and disarmed, charmed by broken promises. I doubted like Thomas did, but purpose continues to tell us to live, and love is calling leaders to lead in the deepest need. I'm not Eve or Mary, somewhere in between. I too was redeemed, living life in the light lightens the load of old. Hold my head high, I can now. How there's no pressure to measure up to man. Together we'll hold hands and stand for statues that memorialize our journey, to encourage those that come after we, and looking ahead we'll reach our hands behind. So in the darkest moments, she too will find another who will help her uncover the treasures and truths within, and she too will stand proud to be a woman. Yeah. God bless you.